Hey everybody, it's Jason with RotoBoss Rotary Attachments. Wanted to take a moment and do a quick video on how to get started with your RotoBoss Rotary. We're going to be doing the light burn setup and showing you how to adjust your steps per rotation. So we have light burn open. I got a laser on so I could use the setup and everything. But the first thing you want to do when you get your rotary is obviously unpack it, get it set up, place it in the laser. Placement in the laser is a little bit different depending on your machine, which the owner's manual will have more details on that, so I won't go into it in this video. There's two ways you can make your adjustments in light burn for your rotary. You have your rotary setup tool right here that you can access. You can also access it through your laser tools, same thing. And you can also go to your device settings or your machine settings and find everything here. So once you go ahead and get everything plugged in, hooked up, and ready to go, there are some general starting points in the owner's manual for your steps rotation. If you're using a RotoBoss, a Junior, or Ascend, your rotary diameter is going to be 56 millimeters, and that will never get touched. The steps per rotation, depending on your machine, we're using Thunder. So Thunder's is about starting point's about 4,400. And depending on your laser and what object you're using to do this setup, you will use anywhere from probably 2,800 steps to 4,400. 4,400 is a general place to start for doing like a 20 or 30 ounce tumbler. And we recommend that you use a 20-ounce tumbler to do this for best results. When you do anything from a shot glass to 30 ounce, you should be good to go without having to make any changes, or if you do, it'll be very little. Keep in mind, if you're doing a water bottle or things like that, where the neck riding on the wheels is smaller than the body, your steps are going to have to be adjusted, and they're going to be adjusted down from whatever your baseline is, which is what we're working on right now. One thing you can do, if you don't see it here, rotary enable. If it's Thunder laser, this doesn't matter. You don't need to worry about this. If you have any other laser that runs off the y-axis, you want to make sure you have your rotary enable switch. And if you don't, you go in here to settings, and then you want to right here, you want to see show rotary enable on main window. That'll give that pop-up on your main screen. That way you can just quickly toggle it back and forth if you're running on a y-axis rotary machine. Again, Thunder does not use this, so it doesn't matter what position that's in. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and go to our rotary setup. And in this instance, we're using a roller. Again, your roller diameter is 56 millimeters. And this can be in inches or millimeters. It doesn't really matter. Just if you're doing the millimeters, just make sure you do the conversion, which the conversion for this is like 2.23. We're going to start out with our 4,400. And it's going to give us a circumference. These down here do not matter for a roller. It says right here, like Bernie even put a note in there for us. Does not matter, so you can leave that as it is. Basically, all this does is gives you information for the size of your template for your cup if you're trying to do a full wrap or a double-sided or something like that, but we'll get into that in another video. So once you go here, and again, I'm on the A-axis because that's what Thunder uses. Sometimes it'll be Y. If you're not running a Thunder, it's always going to be on the Y-axis. So this is really relevant. Rollers, the test function doesn't really work on CO2s, but it will work on galvos, fibers, UVs, things like that. On regular Ruida machines that use a y-axis, this test function does work in some of them and doesn't in others. So your roller selected, 4,400 steps, 56, and then you're going to hit OK. So the next thing you want to do is you want to create a 1-inch box. And you can do that by doing I'm in millimeters, so if I want it to be in inches, I'll do 1 inch, and it's going to convert it automatically to 25.4, which is 1 inch in millimeters. So now that we got our box set up, it's best to find your machine's low power settings. So I'll use my Nova 24 because that's what we use for roller. But our setup is 600 millimeters a second, and 13% power on both, and then I run it at 0.06. You want to make sure that you're using user origin or current position. Absolute coordinates won't work with a rotary, with a rotary. Doesn't matter which one of these you use. Typically, I'm using left center, or if I'm using the chuck, be right center. And that's just a starting point, like if you're trying to line it up with a logo on a cup or something like that. Now that we got our square, we're going to go ahead and send this to the laser. You don't want to start it or do anything, frame it, anything from here. Most lasers, it's a 50-50 shot. Thunder lasers doesn't really work at all. And it's just a communication issue, not a big deal. So you'll send it to your machine. Once you send it to your machine, you're going to go ahead and set up the head over top of the center of the rotary or object. Once you get that set, you're going to hit your origin button. And then after the origin button set, then you can go ahead and do a frame from the control panel on the laser. Once you're satisfied with that, we'll go ahead and run a job and then take a look at it. So let's say we went ahead, we did a job, took a look at it, and this left box is what we're supposed to have. The right box is what we have. So it's a little bit bigger, about 1.5 inches, 1 3/8. So that tells us we need to lower our steps. Now from 4,400 for something like this, you'd probably want to drop it down to about 3,800. The reason for that is I like to shoot high and low. So now we do 3,800, and now we're left with this. So now I need to go somewhere between 44 and 38. So we'll do like 41. And let's just say for the sake of this video, 41 does it. 41 gives us a perfect 25.4 millimeter square. And you can measure that with the tape that's provided to you in your kit with your rotary. Once you get that, that is your hard number. So let's say, we went to 38 originally, that didn't work. So now we went to 4,100, that worked. So then we're going to hit OK. Now that's saved in the system. Now what I do is I'll go up here and I will go to machine settings, edit machine settings, and then save the file. So right here, you see I already have a baseline. This is my baseline setting. So basically anything from a shot glass to 30-ounce cup we can do with little to no adjustments needed. And then if you're doing other stuff like a 40-ounce water bottle, you can save that, so on and so forth. We have another video on that on our YouTube channel that you can find and take a look at for that. So now that we're done with that, and make sure when you're making your adjustments, if you do it through machine settings, you want to go ahead and write it. So you want to write it to the machine. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to mess up the settings that are in that machine. But if we go to read, see, that's what we're actually running in the Odin 32 that we're connected to right now. So 4,100, that's what we had in there. That's where we get the best results for that machine. So when you're doing this, keep in mind, when you're doing things like water bottles and stuff, anything beyond a standard taper or a slim or something like that where the walls are even all the way across, you're going to need to make adjustments to your steps to compensate for the difference between the part riding on the wheels and the body you're engraving. Take a look at that. And then, like I said, always just save the settings for that particular item. That way you can quickly go back and forth between them if you need to. Create a library, so to speak. That's what I do. That's what I recommend. You know, once you get all that set up, you're ready to go. With all that, I hope this video was helpful, first and foremost. If you have any questions or recommendations for other videos you'd like to see, please let us know, and we will accommodate that as much as we can, and hopefully get a decent library of stuff built up for you guys. That way kind of makes things a little bit easier for you if you're starting out or just need a little bit of help. We can make the videos to accommodate that. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next video.